Finland, all we are saying.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live section. So guys, protest loomed in Finland, saying they should release Martin Amdekano. Biafrans gathered in Finland or Finnish Embassy, demanding for an unconditional release of Simon Ekpa. But you can see on your screen, they were holding placards saying, "Freedom fighting is our inalienable rights. Free Simon Ekpa." That is what they are saying, So why lawyers argued in Finland? We're going to continue that video, for you to see what happened in the protest, the way they were, protesting, singing. All we are saying is to free Simon Ekpa Joko. So now, while lawyers argued in Finland, Biafrans are making noise in America. On July 25th, they gathered outside the Finnish Embassy in Washington, D.C. Their chants were simple: free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, recognize Biafra's right to self-determination. So they're all saying that self-determination is not a crime. Free Mazi Simon Ekpa. So protesters came from New York, Maryland, even Canada. They carried placard linking Ekpa's attention to a broader suppression of Igbo rights. Some accused Finland of collaborating with Nigeria's Fulani-controlled regime, a strong accusation that plays well in diaspora platforms. So now the Washington protest aims to push Finland diplomatic to feel the heat and to remind America that Biafra's case is alive, just like it was during the Civil War when image of starvation children, shocked the world. Now, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live session. Stay with me as I have a lot to show you guys. I'm going to show you a video, where they were protesting in Finland, saying they should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, let me now tell you that this is not just about embassy abroad. Biafrans in Finland, in the UK, in Germany and Canada are mobilizing new rallies on Finnish soil. So people in Canada, in Germany, in UK, they are protesting, saying free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, free Simon Ekpa. So now the Biafran government in exile says new matches will hit different countries soon, even the court premises. Their claim is Finland must prove it's a true democracy. So they are saying that Finland should prove that they practice democracy, true democracy, and free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by not letting Nigerians dictate who speaks. So they are saying they should not hear what Nigeria is saying and then obey what the law says. They argue Ekpa's right is an attack on the Biafran dream, not just a legal matter. Now, in this live section, I'm going to be telling you the updates. Kanu's Simon Ekpa's updates, court updates, and then I also talk about the protest that happened in Finland, saying they should, release Simon Ekpa. Now, whether this protest growth depends on diaspora funding, coordination, and how much Ekpa stay locked up. Stay with me. Welcome back to my channel. I have a lot to show you guys. We're talking about Kanu's Simon Ekpa's court updates, and then the protest that happened in Finland. Biafrans were saying all we are saying is what? Release Simon Ekpa. We are telling Finnish government to release him as he has no crime or as he has no case to answer. So I'll still play a video for you guys to see later. So Ekpa's arrest shines a harsh light on the East internal fractures. Critics says, Eastern politicians remain silent. Some even applauded his arrest, calling him a criminal, hurting local businesses with endless sit at home. Now, imagine in the Southeast, the chief of defense staff said that Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. He can't even go to Finland court to prove he's a terrorist. Immediately, Tinubu, applauded Finnish government for arresting Simon Ekpa, even when they don't have any evidence that he's a terrorist. They labeled him a terrorist. Guys, can you imagine? So why haven't Southeast governors pushed for Ekpa's release? One, I've not even heard them talk about Simon Ekpa for once. Why did they abandon Kanu? Two, some say it's because of these politicians benefits more than from Abuja than Igbo freedom. Once again, the ghost of betrayal haunts Biafra story, from the Aburi Accord in 1967 to the silencing of Kanu in 2021 to Ekpa in Finland today. Take a look at the protest. They were saying all we are saying is what? Free Simon Ekpa. Take a look.
Finland, all we are saying. Finland, free Simon Ekpa. Finland. say. Free Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa has committed no crime. His crime is only for fighting for his people to be free. That is why we are telling you today, Finland, that we are here to tell you that Simon Ekpa is only fighting a just cause for his people. And that is why we are telling you to free him today. Free Simon Ekpa. Oh, we are saying. 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 And we believe you can hear us. That is the reason why we are here today. We, the people of Biafra Republic government in exile, we are here to tell you that Simon Ekpa has committed no crime. He's only fighting a just cause, fighting for freedom of his people. That is only sin that he has committed. We are telling you today, please, Finland, free Simon Ekpa because he has committed no crime. We are saying, free Simon Ekpa.
Finland.
Oh, we are saying,
He has committed no crime.
free Simon Ekpa.
Free.
Oh, we are saying, free Simon Ekpa. Oh.
So guys, that video you just watched is when Biafrans stormed Finnish Embassy saying they should free Simon Ekpa as he had no case to answer. He has not committed any crime. Heard them say that. So now let me now take you back. The story of Biafra never truly ended in 1970. Decades later, a new generation has found its battlefield not in the forest of Nsukka or Enugu, but in a live stream courtroom and capital of Europe and America. Simon Ekpa's arrest is not just a trial; it's a test. How far will an exiled people go to demand freedom? And how far will states go to silence them? Now, Simon Ekpa once trained as an athletic, then as a lawyer. He was dabbled in Finnish local politics, but his name exploded in 2021 when IPOB leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was adopted in Kenya and flew back to Nigeria in an operation many still call illegal under international law. Now, Ekpa refused to toe IPOB internal line, splitting to form the Biafran Republic government in exile. He runs a powerful online media war, thousands tune in every night. Now, he sits at home, others sometimes paralyze entire states in eastern Nigeria. Some Igbo see it as reckless, other as the only fear without voiceless. So why Kanu's legal battle drags endlessly in Nigerian selective courts? Ekpa speaks to the streets in real time. So if in case you don't know who Ekpa is, Simon Ekpa is a Biafran. In fact, he's the prime minister of Biafra. When they adopted Kanu, that was when he took it to himself. In fact, he actually positioned himself as the prime minister of Biafra, so that continuing what Kanu started while Kanu was in detention. So why Kanu's legal battle drags endlessly in Nigeria selective courts in Abuja, Ekpa speaks to the streets in real time, raw, unfiltered, and defiant. So now in November 2021, I'm telling you the story of Mazi Simon Ekpa. In November 2024, Finnish police made headlines. A Donrad and Lati computer seized, bank accounts, frozen, and the man whose voice boomed across Igbo land was in handcuff. That's Simon Ekpa. Nigerians officially petitioned Finland multiple times, calling Ekpa a security threat. Critics said Nigeria outsourced suppression using Europe anti-terror war to succeed where they couldn't. Human rights lawyers in Finland are split is inciting people abroad to enforce it at home, the same as direct terrorism. For Finland, this is a precedent setting the line between politics, speech, and incitement can be blurry when the conflict is 6,000 kilometers away. Now, prosecutors say Ekpa crossed the line by calling for action that led to violence. They point to attack on market, transport service, and even schools during sit at home. They say funds moved from Europe funded armed enforcers. Now, some local vigilante in the southeast claim they are forced to obey Ekpa's order or risk attack. Nigerian security reports blame unknown gunmen but link their instruction to Ekpa's broadcast. Ekpa's legal team argues he never ordered violence directly, only civil disobedience. Now, evidence includes thousands of hours of live stream in Igbo land. How accurate are translation? The defense argued that Finland is not the global police for Nigerians' internal war, but prosecutors insist Finnish citizens and territory cannot be used to direct violence abroad. While the court debates the law, the street do what they do best. Raw Biafrans had lain the power, of global street just days ago. They stood shoulders to shoulders outside Finnish Embassy in Washington, D.C. Many protesters are second generation Biafran, young, educated people. Some carried banners comparing Ekpa's arrest to Nelson Mandela's jailing. A broad narrative. Flyers distributed in DC, that's Washington, DC, claim Nigeria wants to crush the last voice fighting. And flyers distributed in DC claim Nigeria wants to crush the last voice fighting for East survival. So activists argue that America must stay silent while Europe becomes the tool for African state oppression. This is the same diaspora network that funds IPOP lawyers, run Radio Biafra, and organize remittance back home. That sometimes that's the government budget. Now, let me just hear what this person said. Let me just talk about what this person said. So somebody said illegal means illegal, deport all. He said everyone copying America at every turn. I don't understand what this person is talking about, because we're talking about Simon Ekpa. They were Biafrans in Finland were protesting, saying that they should release him. Take a look in case you have not watched the video. Take a look.
All we are saying, free Simon Ekpa. Finland. All we are saying, free Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa has committed no crime. His crime is only for fighting for his people to be free. That is why we are telling you today, Finland, that we are here to tell you that Simon Ekpa is only fighting a just cause for his people. And that is why we are telling you to free him today. Free Simon Ekpa. All we are saying, free Simon Ekpa. Oh.
So that was the protest. Now, I actually understand that some people don't know what is going on. Now, to understand today's unfolding drama, we must revisit who Simon Ekpa is. Some don't know who Simon Ekpa is. So Simon Ekpa is a Finnish-based Nigerian lawyer, a political activist, and self-styled Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic, government in exile. To some, he's the voice of a silenced people. To others, he's they call him the voice of the Igbos. So now, Ekpa rose to prominence after the 2021 extraordinary redemption of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. While Kanu languishes in DSS custody in Nigeria, Ekpa picked up the microphone and continued what Kanu started. So now, in November 2024, the Finnish police arrested Ekpa under suspicion of public incitement to commit crimes with terrorist intent. So let me just go to what somebody said. He said, now he's locked up for good. Okay. People said they labeled him a terrorist. they labeled him a terrorist. There's this allegation, that they allegedly called him a terrorist. So if Kanu was a terrorist, why don't you, if Simon Ekpa was a terrorist, why don't you so if Kanu is a terrorist, if Simon Ekpa is a terrorist, why don't you like charge him to, why don't you jail him? Why? In fact, there's no even evidence that shows he's a terrorist. Yes, there's no evidence that shows that Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. That's the same thing with Mazi Kanu too. There's no evidence that shows these people are terrorists. So why are they keeping them in detention? You called him a terrorist. There's no evidence that he's a terrorist. So this person that is saying that he's locked up for good, why do you think that he's locked up? Why don't you show that he's a terrorist? This is 8 months now, more than 8 months that Simon Ekpa has been in detention. There's no proof that he's a terrorist. So why are they still keeping him? Why are they keeping him? You called him a terrorist and you can't prove. Even people that called him a terrorist, the chief of defense staff, Tinubu, immediately when Simon Ekpa was arrested, immediately, Tinubu actually congratulated Finnish government for arresting him, saying he's a terrorist. Immediately, even without making investigation to find out if this one is truly a terrorist. Imagine that. So if Simon Ekpa is a terrorist, those people that called him a terrorist in Nigeria should come to Finland. Both the chief of defense staff for Tinubu and others should come and prove that this man is a terrorist and stop keeping him there. It's the same thing with Mazi Kanu. They are just purposely keeping these two there. They're just purposely keeping him there for nothing. Innocent people. Let me now tell you, in every court, if you are arrested or if you're detained, you're innocent unless you're proven guilty. In November 2024, the Finnish police arrested Ekpa under suspicion of public incitement to commit crimes with terrorist intent. Look at what is going on in Nigeria today. Look at, terrorists empowering people here and there. They did not, DSS did not go after them. Or Nigerian military chief of defense staff that is calling Ekpa a terrorist did not even go after them. What they are saying is innocent people they will label as terrorists. Finnish prosecutors, alleged coordinated sit at home. Finnish prosecutors alleged a coordinated sit-at-home orders, armed resistance calls, and other directive that, according to them, they said he fueled violence in Nigerian southeast. So now let me now show you that the charges they said the charges is participation in a terrorist organization, financing terrorism, and aggravated tax fraud. If convicted, he faced up to 6 years in prison, in Finnish prison. Yet in court, Simon Ekpa has stood defiant, denying any terrorist link, dismissing the charges as political motivated, and admitting only to minor tax infraction. Now, let me now tell you that the first preparatory hearing took place on May 30th. That was when, imagine when somebody comes to court. When somebody comes to court for the first time, he comes to court for the first time, and then they now said that without investigation, without proper prosecution, they said he's going to go to jail for 6 years. That was a red flag. I see Nigerians' handwork there, because how can you just come to court for the first time, no investigation, no proper due process, you're already saying he's going to go to jail for 6 years. That happened on May 30th, 2025. Finnish prosecutors tabled a trove of digital evidence, broadcast, messages, money trails, but proving a foreign rebellion in a Finnish court is no simple task. On June 11th, the full trial commenced. Ekpa appeared again on June 17th, surrounded by loyal supporters chanting pro-Biafra slogan in the freezing and Nordic summer. No sign of compromise, no sign of surrender. As of today, July 26th, the trial remains ongoing. No ruling yet, and despite rumors of its release, Ekpa remains behind Finnish bars, at least for now. Back in the United States, the echoes of Finland courtroom at the heart of global power, Washington, D.C. On July 25th, Biafran in diaspora staged a broad protest at the Finnish Embassy. Their message is Finland is detaining a freedom fighter, not a terrorist. They see Ekpa as the voice for millions back home, millions who feel Nigeria has abandoned them, betrayed them, suffocated them under military occupation. Placards were raised, Voice lifted, demands were clear: release Mazi Simon Ekpa, recognize Biafra, and end the persecution on the Igbo people. While the Washington rally shocked the diplomatic corridors, fresh protest looms on Finland's own soil. The Biafran Republic government in exile vows that the streets of Lati and other cities will hear the cries of the marginalized. They accuse Finland of bending to Nigerian government pressure, or of silencing a man who only used words to broadcast. No, now they are saying that Finland is bending to Nigerians' pressure to silence Simon Ekpa, a man that is broadcasting, a freedom fighter. So now for Finland, the stakes are high: a test of free speech, a test of their roles as hosts to an exiled government mouthpiece, and a test of how far one small nation will go to balance human rights, global politics, and its own security law. Beyond the cold courtroom and embassy gates lies the bigger question. Now, over 50 years after the Biafran War claimed millions of lives, the dreams of self-determination remains a burning ember kept alive by Kanu, carried on by Ekpa. So ever since they arrested Kanu, Ekpa took it up to continue what he started. Now, to supporters, this is not about one man, it's about the survival of an idea that the Igbos and the other Eastern people can someday choose their own destiny, free from the shackles of Nigerians' broken promises, military invasion, and political marginalization. So now, as Finland judge weigh evidence, Biafra in America chants freedom, songs, and tension in Sima back home in the southeast, the world watches: is Simon Ekpa a criminal or a freedom fighter? Will his trial silence a movement or ignite it further? So now the truth is that there is no evidence that shows that Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. There is no evidence that show he's a terrorist. In case you have not watched that video of the protest, take a look where they said that Simon Ekpa is actually an innocent man. In the placard, they said freedom fighting is our inalienable rights. Free Simon Ekpa and Jokhu. Is freedom fighting a crime? Is self-determination a crime? They went ahead and arrested him, said he's the one causing the violence in the southeast. Why Fulani headers are the one causing all the violence? Any small thing that happened in the southeast, any attack that happened in the southeast in Nigeria, they will call IPOB. When they are innocent, they will call IPOB. When is these Fulani headers that are doing all these things, they'll be calling IPOB. Guys, take a look at the protests.
All we are saying, free Simon Ekpa. Finland. All we are saying, free Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa has committed no crime. His crime is only for fighting for his people to be free. That is why we are telling you today, Finland, that we are here to tell you that Simon Ekpa is only fighting a just cause for his people. And that is why we are telling you to free him today. Free Simon Ekpa. Oh, we...
So that was the protest. Now, let me now tell you something that Simon Ekpa didn't just appear overnight. He was once just a vocal supporter of IPOB's detained leader, Mazi Kanu. But when Kanu was adopted and brought back to Nigeria in 2021, a vacuum formed and Ekpa stepped in to fill it. Through online broadcasts from his based in Lati, Finland, he rallied supporters, ordered sit at home, and spoke fiercely against the Nigerian state. Ekpa positioned himself as the Prime Minister of Biafran Republic, and he claimed his mission was to complete what Ojukwu and Kanu started: total independence. His order triggered sit-at-home lockdowns across Igbo land, praised by some and condemned by others for fueling fear. Now, to his followers, he's the voice Kanu for his followers, he's the voice Kanu cannot be. To his enemy, he's an instigator hiding behind the shield of Europe's freedom. Now, but free speech comes with limits. Even in liberal Finland, in the late 2024, Ekpa was arrested for what Finnish authorities says is no ordinary activism. Now, charges include public incitement to commit terrorist acts, participating in a terrorist organization, and aggravated tax fraud. I'm asking now, since they said Kanu committed terrorism, so where is the proof? Where is the evidence? Have Nigeria, even the people they sent to, people they sent to Finland, Nigerians they sent to Finland to come and testify against Simon Ekpa was actually IPOPs, and then they have no evidence, any good evidence that Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. So why are they still holding him? See, their plan is to just destabilize this Biafran government. And then Nigerian government should know that this Biafran government is actually a spirit. You cannot just kill a spirit like that. You can kill a man, but you cannot kill a spirit. That is just it. Ekpa says it's all political, that Nigerian government pressured Finland to silence him because he exposed state violence against the Igbos. Just because they are exposing bad corruption in Igbo land. Just because of it, they went and arrested him, even arrested the leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. On May 10th, 2025, the courtroom showdown began. Prosecutors demanded 6 years in prison. Ekpa denied any terrorism but admitted minor tax mistakes. Prosecutors' argument was Ekpa's intrusion led to real violence in Nigeria, a violation of Finland's strict terrorism law. Now, he was exercising free speech as a political leader in exile, no direct command to commit murder or terror. That is what Simon Ekpa said. Proving violence abroad is in a Finnish court, cross-border evidence, witnesses, translation, and verifying videos. As of today, July 26th, the court is still weighing evidence. Ekpa remains in custody. The verdict could reshape how Europe handles exiled freedom agitators. Now, while lawyers argued in Finland, Biafrans are making noise in America. On July 25th, they gathered outside the Finnish Embassy in Washington, D.C. The chants were very simple: free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, recognize Biafra's right to self-determination. Protesters came from New York, Maryland, and even Canada itself. They carried placards linking Ekpa's detention to a broader suppression of Igbo rights. Some accused Finland of collaborating with Nigeria's Fulani-controlled regime, a strong accusation that play well on diaspora platform. Now, the Washington protest aims to push Finland diplomatic to feel the heat and to remind America that Biafra case is alive, just like it was during the Civil War, when image of starving children shocked the world. Now, but this is not just about embassy abroad. Biafrans in Finland, the UK, Germany, and Canada are mobilizing new rallies on Finnish soil. Biafran government in exile says new marches will hit Lahti and different places in Finland. Even in the courts, they claim that Finland must prove it's a true democracy by not letting Nigerians dictate who speaks. They argue Ekpa's arrest is an attack on Biafran's dream, not just a legal matter. So whether these protesters grow depends on diaspora funding, coordination, and how much longer Ekpa stays locked up. Ekpa's arrest shines as harsh light on East's internal fractures. Critics says Eastern politicians remain silent. Now ask yourself, why haven't Southeast governors pushed for Ekpa's release? Why did they abandon Kanu too? See, they know what they are doing. Some say it's because these politicians benefit more from Abuja than from Igbo land. Once again, the ghost of betrayal haunts Biafran story, from the Aburi Accord in 1967 to the silencing of Kanu in 2021 to Ekpa's in Finland today. If Ekpa is convicted, will it break the Biafran spirit, or will it fuel more radical actions back home? Will Finland face backlash for criminalizing what some call political speech? Will Nigeria demand more extradition? So now, what Nigerian government wants? Let me now tell you what Nigerian government wants. What Nigerian government wants is for Simon Ekpa to be, brought back to Nigeria. So they will start their courts. So he will start, his court section afresh, his trial afresh. You know how Nigeria people, how court session is in Nigeria. They will keep on delaying, just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They want Simon Ekpa's case to be like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, delaying it so that he will stay there for years, just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But it won't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen. One thing is very clear: Biafra demands for self-determination will not be buried by a courtroom verdict. or embassy war. From Washington, D.C. to other cities, the cry for freedom echoes and the world must listen. That is just it. The world must listen. The story of Biafra never truly ended in 1970. Decades later, a new generation has found its battlefield not in forest of Nsukka or Enugu, but in live stream, courts, and capital of Europe and America. Simon Ekpa's arrest is not just a trial; it's a test. It's a test. For long Igbos, they have betrayed Igbos. Simon Ekpa once trained as an athletic, then as a lawyer, he once dabbled in Finnish local politics, but his name exploded in 2021 when Kanu was arrested. Then he took up what Kanu started. He started, doing what Kanu started, which Nigerian government got provoked. Now let me tell you everything behind this man's story. Because they arrested Kanu, they went ahead and Nigerian government went ahead and arrested Kanu, kept him in DSS custody for some time now, and then they now went ahead, collided, and arrested Simon Ekpa too. And their plan now is for them. They don't want anything. They don't see Biafran don't want anything. Anything to. They don't want any. If a Nigerian government doesn't want to hear anything called Biafra, that is why they keep on arresting their leaders. They have arrested their leader now. They are going after the prime minister without even giving him a trial, a fair trial. Imagine that, without giving him a fair trial. Imagine what is happening in Simon Ekpa's case. If you call him a terrorist, go to Finland and prove he's a terrorist. Stop wasting their time. Go to Finland. In fact, they should be bailed because there's no evidence that he's a terrorist. So why are they still keeping him? Why are they still keeping him? Look at what is happening in Nigeria. The real terrorists are seen walking freely, while the innocents are being labeled terrorists, jailed. Persecutors claimed Ekpa calls for sit-at-homes were enforced by groups who got foreign funding, but where did the money really flow? Ekpa supporters said the donations are for welfare and logistics, not weapons. They said he was, funding terrorism, while Ekpa supporters said donations are for welfare and logistics, not for weapons. Critic argued some donation funded armed enforcers who threatened market that open on lockdown days. Nigerian secret police claim they have bank statements showing unusual transfer, but none of this evidence has been fully tested in open court. Imagine. Many believe some leaks are propaganda to turn diaspora donors away. Why big cities protest in villages across Imo State, Ebonyi, Anambra, and Abia State? The reality is more painful than any rally signs. Many market women lose daily income on sit-at-home orders. Small businesses pay extortion money to avoid attack. Parents fear sending children to school. Some schools shut down for days. Some local whisper that sit-at-home enforcers are not even true Biafran loyalists, but criminal gangs exploiting fear. They label IPOB as a terrorist group. Even sit-at-home orders that is not coming from above. They went ahead, to say it was Simon Ekpa. Label Ekpa as a terrorist when they cannot prove he's a terrorist. If Finnish court brands him guilty, Big Tech could pressure to shut down his channel. This would trigger accusation of, Nigerian censorship for them. But shutting him down could push his broadcast to dark websites and, making them harder to monitor. Inside Nigeria corridors of power, rumors fly that behind the scene, quiet deals are being offered to break the diaspora's firepower. Some claims middlemen have offered a drop charges if Kanu toned down his broadcast. Imagine. Others whisper that certain Igbo politicians are negotiating with Finnish diplomatic to protect economic